Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? You guys are back in Spanish lessons with Professor Jason, and today what I'd like to do is to respond to a specific request that came in from one of you, my YouTube students. And the person wanted to know more about interrogative words and forming questions in Spanish. What are some of the common question words and questions that go with them? So here's the answer, okay? A couple things to keep in mind before we talk about words such as qué, cuál, cuándo, and the other interrogatives are that when these appear in actual questions, they always have a written accent, okay, on the vowel that you emphasize. Sometimes these words appear in statements that aren't questions and they don't have the accent, okay? Another thing to remember is that I'll give the translation for these. For example, I'll say that que means what, that como means how, but you have to remember that in certain expressions, common questions, these words might have slightly different meanings. And so it's more important to learn the questions that these words are associated with than to remember the literal translations, okay? All right, we're going to start off with one of the most common, which is que, okay? Que, again, usually is translated as what. For example, in the question, what do you want to do today? Would be, ¿Qué quieres hacer hoy? ¿Qué quieres hacer hoy? Or if I wanted to ask, what do you like to do? ¿Qué te gusta hacer? ¿Qué te gusta hacer? Okay. Another question word that is very related to que is cuál, because cuál is often also translated as what. For example, in the question, ¿Cuál es tu número de teléfono? ¿Cuál es tu número de teléfono? Okay. What is your phone number? But it often can mean which, okay, when it implies a selection between a finite number of options. For example, in that question, which is your phone number? Which of all the phone numbers is your phone number? ¿Cuál es tu número de teléfono? Or if I'm showing you two shirts, camisas, and I want to know which one you prefer, ¿Cuál camisa prefieres? Okay, ¿Cuál? Which? ¿Cuándo is when? ¿Cuándo? Okay, so if I want to ask when is the party, I would say ¿Cuándo es la fiesta? ¿Cuándo es la fiesta? Or a question you already know, when is your birthday? ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños? ¿Cuándo es tu cumpleaños? Okay. How much or how many? These are cuánto for how much in the singular, and cuántos for how much, or for how many rather, in the plural. And these forms also have feminine forms, cuánta y cuántas. Okay. If I want to know, for example, how much something costs, I use the singular, and the question is ¿Cuánto cuesta? ¿Cuánto cuesta? So if I'm in a gift shop or an open-air market somewhere, and I want to know the price of something, I can just point to the object and say, hey, ¿Cuánto cuesta? ¿Cuánto cuesta? Or ¿Cuánto vale? What's it worth? Okay. If I want to ask about something that's plural, more than one, like how many brothers and sisters do you have, I would use the plural form. In this case, the masculine plural form. ¿Cuántos hermanos tienes? ¿Cuántos hermanos tienes? If I were to ask just about sisters, I would use the plural feminine form, right? ¿Cuántas hermanas tienes? ¿Cuántas hermanas tienes? Okay? So far, so good? You can always rewind and replay, okay, if I'm going too fast. How about to ask where, or to where, or from where? Okay, here we go. If it's just where, like where do you live, okay, it's ¿Dónde? ¿Dónde vives? Where do you live? ¿Dónde vives? Or where is my friend? ¿Dónde está? Right? ¿Dónde está mi amigo? Okay, ¿Dónde? If I want to ask about the destination, to where? Like, where are you going? It's ¿A dónde? Okay? I have to add the preposition a. ¿A dónde? So, where are you going? ¿A dónde vas? ¿A dónde vas? Okay? If I want to ask where somebody is from, I add the preposition de, right? Of, or from. ¿De dónde eres? Where are you from? ¿De dónde eres? Okay? ¿Cómo? ¿Cómo usually means how, but it's used in a variety of questions, so translations might vary, like I mentioned at the beginning. One question where it does mean how is ¿Cómo se dice? Remember, how do I say a word in Spanish? So if I want to say water, ¿Cómo se dice water in español? ¿Cómo se dice? How is it said? Okay? Or what's your name? Here, ¿cómo means what in the English translation, right? ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? Okay? Or I could use como to ask how to arrive or how to get to a particular place, like the post office, el correo. ¿Cómo llego al correo? You could ask somebody on the street, ¿Cómo llego al correo? How do I get there? Okay? So usually como is used to construct questions asking about how something's done. You need an explanation. All right? Como. To ask questions relating to whom, whose, or who, we're going to use the interrogative word quién in some form, right? If it's just who as a subject, like who wants to eat, right? I'm going to use quién. ¿Quién quiere comer? Okay? ¿Quién quiere comer? Who wants to eat? If I want to use, if I want to say whose, right? Whose book is that? It's de quién. ¿De quién es ese libro? Whose book is that book, right? Or whose car is that? ¿De quién es el coche? ¿De quién? Okay? Finally, one more very important interrogative word is ¿por qué? Right? ¿Por qué is two words in a question, ¿por qué? And it means why, right? So I might ask you, why do you study Spanish? Okay? ¿Por qué estudias español? ¿Por qué estudias español? And you respond, because I like it. ¿Por qué me gusta? Right? That's one possible answer, right? So again, these have been some of the most common interrogative words and some questions that are common or they can be used to model and create other similar questions. So hopefully you've enjoyed this lesson, you've learned something. As always, you can always rewind, listen, and repeat as many times as you need to. And if you have any questions about this lesson, or if there's another topic that you would like to hear about, feel free to send me a comment, a video comment, or just a message here to my channel, Language Now. Alright, I hope to hear from you guys soon. Muchas gracias y hasta luego. Ciao.